Hi everyone, my name is Michael Arias and I own an Osmo Pocket, and I really enjoy using the Osmo Pocket. It shoots up to 4K 60 video, but one of the biggest challenges with getting 4K 60 video into your iOS device is that there's some limitations around the format, and you can't do a direct transfer or import into an iOS device like an iPhone or an iPad where it can be edited. Now once it actually gets into an iOS device, you can actually edit it in, say, an editing program like LumaFusion. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go over how to actually get 4K 60 video into your iOS device using what's known as a Ravpower file hub. This is the latest version. This is the W009. And what it does is you actually insert your SD card or micro SD card with an adapter into this slot here, and then it will wirelessly transfer up to 4K 60 video to your iOS device, where it can then be edited within LumaFusion. So what is the Ravpower file hub? So basically, there's a lot of capabilities of the Ravpower file hub. It's a battery bank. It's also a portable travel router, wireless travel router. It has an SD card reader, as I mentioned, SD card backup, does wireless storage, and also is a media streamer, among other things. But rather than get into a full review of the Ravpower file hub, the WD009, I'm just going to focus on one of its many features and its capabilities, and that's to be able to transfer 4K 60 video from the Osmo Pocket to an iOS device. And in this case, we're going to be using an iPhone 10, my wife's iPhone 10, to actually demonstrate what it's going to be like in terms of how to transfer videos, 4K 60 video, to an iOS device. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and power up the Ravpower file hub. There's a power button on the side over here. What you do is you have to actually hold it for a couple of seconds, and then you'll notice that it starts to light up. And then it starts to has all these other icons here. It's got a Wi-Fi icon. It's got, also, notice if it has a 5G, has an SD card icon if there's an SD card present, and then obviously the power button. The Ravpower has its own Wi-Fi, creates its own Wi-Fi network. So once you connect to an iOS device, then you can actually transfer the files that are on the SD card over from whatever media that may have here to an iOS device like an iPad or an iPhone. There's also capability to connect via a 5G network versus a 2.4 gigahertz network as well. Right now, as you can see the icon, so that means it's actually transmitting in the 5 gigahertz spectrum. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and transfer the micro SD card from the Osmo Pocket into the Ravpower, and then we're going to wirelessly transfer the files over to this iOS device over here, this iPhone 10, my wife's iPhone 10. So what we're going to need is we're going to also need a micro SD to SD card adapter. As you can see here, here's the micro SD card. It usually sometimes takes a little bit of time and patience to get this out, but for some reason I was able to get it out right away. You stick it inside the adapter, and then you can then insert the entire unit into the Ravpower. So I'm going to move this across over here. Now we have the iPhone 10. So we're going to go ahead and turn this on. As you can see here, I have LumaFusion running on here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start a project. And we'll just go ahead and just say my project. This is going to be a test project. No, we're not going to watch the tutorial. And what we can do here is, if you see, you have a bunch of different sources here as well. So you have sources in terms of Gnarbox, WD, imported, titles, transitions, iTunes. So let me take a moment here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do a screen record. So let me just bear with me. Okay. Okay, so I'm doing a screen recording here. And what you do is you basically go in and you decide, okay, which of the different sources. Usually you would have photos, and if you were able to directly transfer your files from the Osmo Pocket to your iPhone or iPad. There's also a couple other options. There's a Gunnar box. There's Western Digital. Here what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going to the imported section. And imported, basically it says no content. So then what you need to do is then you need to look for a wireless network drive. And then we're going to try to see if we can connect to the Ravpower from there. So it says add a server. We're going to click on that. It looks like we need to connect. Oh, and that's what we forgot to do, is we forgot to connect via Wi-Fi. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of this really briefly. Go to settings. And what we need to do is we're going to need to change our network to the Rav file hub. And there's, as you can see here, there's two different options. There's the 2G or 2.4G, and there's the 5G. So we're going to do the 5G since it's much faster. And that's going to wait. We're going to wait for it to connect. And there it's connected. So now we're going to go back to LumaFusion. And now let's see if we can add File Hub. There's File Hub. So now it's asking for a username and password. So if you use the standard login, it's going to be admin. And there's going to be no password. So there's, you can see here, now we're connected to the SD card volume. And we want to go to the DCIM. And then the 100 media folder. At least this is what it uses for the Osmo Pocket. And then we could then go and see all the different files that are available on here. And so we're going to scroll down basically to see what we have for today. There's a bunch of different files here. And then what you can do is you can then choose some of the different files that are on there. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to probably have to look at and to see which ones may be 4K 60. Which I should have done earlier, but let me see if I can find one. I recognize one. Alright, now it's going to download this. This is about 1 gigabyte. So as we're waiting for this to download. Okay, we're almost finished downloading the media here from the Ravpower, and it looks like it was a 4K file, so I'm glad that happened. And as you can see here, this was at UC Berkeley's campus. It was Cal Day, and there you have it. As you can see, I was able to import this 1.5 minute video clip that's at 4K 60 in MP4 format. And then we can then download it to the timeline that we have here. Oops, sorry. Timeline that we have here. And then just for illustrative purposes, this is for, we're using LumaFusion to download and edit. And there you have it. 4K 60 video in transferred from your Osmo Pocket via the Ravpower to the to an iPhone 10 in this instance. Thanks for watching.